John,
Nice to meet you.
you're early. I like that.
What's that?
You're early. I like that.
Yep.
Okay, we're ready to get started with John. Okay, raise your hand. We'll get you a mic. We'll start in the very back.
Kate O'Neill, WJHL, Johnson City, Tennessee. You guys have started off the season really hot the last 2 years, just faltered down the stretch. How do you get that consistency and finally get over that 5-7 hump this year?
That just starts in the off season, finishing every drill we do and holding people accountable.
I think 3 of your first 5 are against SEC opponents. You know, you start off with Florida and then you have Alabama not soon after. How challenging is that just to start the year with such a tough schedule?
Well, we actually start the year with Southern Miss, and that one's going to be quite tough as well, just as every other game will be. So we're not really worried about Florida and Alabama at the moment, but we will be once that time comes around.
Right here in the middle.
Chris Womack, CBS 42 in Birmingham. Coach Stoops was just in here, and he was talking about how he wanted the team to, focus harder, work harder, study harder, just kind of taking it to the next level in everything that you do. How do you feel like the team's responded to that over the summer?
I feel like we've really taken that upon ourselves, and we've tried to live up to those expectations that Coach Stoops has set, and he's been clear in all of his messages that he's told us that he wants us to succeed on and off the field, and we've tried to do that. And I think we've done a good job of doing that so far, and we need to continue to do that as a team.
John, why do you think this is the year?
I think this is the year because we've been close many years, and I think everyone on the team has reached that point where we have said enough is enough, and we're going to do whatever it takes to get us in that position where we can be successful.
Hey, John, is JoJo a guy you can really build this offense around?
Yeah, JoJo, he has really started, he's worked his tail off this whole offseason, and he's taken care of business off the field, and he's been hungry ever since last season, and I think a lot of guys have been really hungry after our disappointing season last year, and we don't want to repeat that. We want to do better.
We kind of touched on this upstairs a little bit. You're on the watch list, and I know it doesn't mean anything yet, but you talk a little bit about when they moved you to center. You were a guard, I think, if memory serves. They moved you to center, and now you're supposedly one of the best in the country. What was that process like? What did you think when they moved you? Have you enjoyed it? Has it been tough? Just if you would talk about that process.
Yeah, when I came in, I was initially a tackle, and then they kind of shuffled me around a little bit between tackle and guard. And then they moved me to center, and I had never played center before in my life, so obviously that was pretty scary to suddenly have to snap the ball and block somebody. That's a different kind of thing to do. But, it's something that I just took in stride, and I was willing to learn how to do it and tried to perfect my craft every day. And, it takes daily effort to snap every day a little bit and kind of just get that muscle memory down, and it's something I've grown to love. So
Why center?
just because you're the start of every play, and if you're inconsistent and you mess up one play, then all the attention's on you, and just it's kind of a lineman thing. You don't really want the attention on you at all, because that probably means you did something bad usually. Typically.
To that point, the
amount of attention. I asked Coach this too. Who do you think there's more pressure to win on, Alabama football or Kentucky basketball?
I'm not sure. I know that both of those sports have really devout followings, and our fans are great in the fact that they support both. And I don't really know about all that which is more important. Yeah, and there's expectations to win in football as well as basketball, so the expectations are just as high for football, and we're going to try and get there this year.
Hey, John, I know you said you're going to focus on Southern Miss, but Florida is right there at the front of y'all schedule. You have to come back down to Gainesville this year. It's in September. When you get down there in that Gainesville heat in September, is that just like a different kind of heat?
It is hot in Florida, but it does, for some reason, it'll pour right before you're about to go outside and run in Lexington. And then you think you're not going to go outside and run, and then right before your workout, it stops raining and the sun comes out and it's 100% humidity. And I mean, you don't even have to drink water because there's water in the air just hitting you in the face every time you're running. So I think we have a nice atmosphere at Kentucky just because we get to train in, what we think are bad conditions, but obviously it gets pretty humid down in Florida too.
John Lewis from WDRB in Louisville. Coach Stoops said that if you guys wanted to use it for motivation, he was fine with that. But do you guys think about that last game? Do you worry about lingering effects, or do you use that game as motivation for this season?
Yeah, I personally use every loss just as motivation because it's every game we play is within a couple plays. You can't pinpoint an exact play, but there's a couple of them in there that if they go your way or you make them go your way, you try a little harder or you catch that ball or you block that guy, then the whole outcome is different, the season's different, and you're not asking that question. So that's kind of our motivation, is to get those plays so we can talk about other things, talk about winning.
John, a lot of the coaches that have come in here through the week have talked about how vital the defensive line position is for every program because the great ones are so scarce, but it seems like so many of the great ones are in your league. What's it like for you as a guy right in the middle of that to knock heads literally with all these great D linemen in this league?
I mean, it's a great honor. I'd say I love playing offensive line, and it's a unique experience, especially in SEC and all the great environments, the great stadiums, the great crowds. It's a great thing at every position, honestly, I'm sure. So it's just a very unique experience, and I wouldn't pass it up for anything.
Any more questions? Okay, great. Thank you.